Hello, everybody. Some announcements before we begin. First off, welcome to our Ravenloft campaign. There will be a sixth cast member, currently working on that, so stay tuned. I'm going to do it like a Japanese RPG. They're going to come in a little later. But yeah, some announcements before we begin. First, we do have a... There, it's working tonight. We have a link tree, so if you type in exclamation point links in our chat, you can get access to our link tree, which has Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Discord. Everywhere you can find our stuff, you can find it there. And it also is our Tiltify charity that we do. We raise money for Color of Change. You can find that there, because it's a great charity, and I want to keep supporting it, so check that out. There's going to be no games next Wednesday and next Thursday because of American Thanksgiving, and most of the cast in the two games that are currently going on those days are American, so no games next Wednesday. Or next Thursday. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, no next. Yeah. Codex Legendarium should still be going on Sunday the 21st, but probably not on the 28th because I'm moving on the 27th.
Happy birthday to me.
Okay.
You'll be in a good... I'm going for breakfast that day. I'm very happy. All I'm thinking about is breakfast on the 27th.
I don't like breakfast. And then everything should be back to normal December 1st and December 2nd. That said, because this is a Ravenloft campaign, I'm going to do this before every session. If you're watching this or listening to this on the podcast place or watching the VOD, content warning. There might be some stuff that comes up over the course of things that might not affect the players in any way, but it might affect you as an audience member. Just some content that might pop up, like violence, gore, horror in general. So just a little content warning that some stuff might pop up that might upset you as a viewer, etc., etc. Yeah. So. But there will not be anything like super awful. Put that out there. So. It is the first of the second moon in the year 735. And just so everybody knows, the moons are the months, so it's the second month. I linked the players a calendar as well, so if you guys want to ever keep track of all that kind of stuff, you can do that. I'll tweak this a bit. Okay. And we find ourselves in the wonderfully dark, horrific lands of Ravenloft, also known as the Domains of Dread. Specifically, for the beginning of our tale, we find ourselves in the Domain of Dread known as Valachan. It is a land of dense rainforests, sandy shores, and forest-choked mountains. The wilderness itself is fantastically dangerous, as are some of its denizens. Valachan, though, is beautiful, lush, and wild. Every kind of colorful creature and vibrant bloom flourishes here, and from its deep gulches to its heady mountain ranges, the domain teems with life. Valachan has no established roads, but well-traveled game trails snake through this dense rainforest. Every living thing in Valachan generates wily camouflage, venom, spines, tricks, or traps. Nothing here is safe, defenseless, or as it seems. That all said, our tale, however, begins in a place of moderate comfort. Nestled high up in the canopy of this rainforest are a series of wooden, thatch buildings, strung together, known as the Pintara Lodge, which sit suspended high above the overgrown ruins of a castle reclaimed by the jungle. All manner of food and drink had been set out the night before, and all of the gathered guests have been well fed and taken care of. Everyone that has been brought to the lodge is woken up at around 5 a.m. and gathered in the dining hall of the lodge. There are 15 attendees total, not including the host of this whole affair. A beautiful woman with bronze-colored skin, long dark hair, and a gown made of jungle flora. Beside the woman is a large panther-like creature with 6 legs and tentacles sticking out from its back. And as you're all gathered and brought to the main section of the Pentara Lodge, you briefly catch a glimpse of the slowly setting full moon in the night sky, its light shining in through glassless windows. This woman takes to the center of the lodge and stands before you all, illuminated by the light of the full moon. Greetings. I am Chakuna. You have all been gathered from across the domains of dread to take part in a trial, for which you have all been deemed worthy. And this trial is known as the Trial of Hearts. Those of you gathered here shall form into groups, or may participate alone if you so choose. Once you've established these groups, alliances between contenders are not permitted. She flashes a smile and looks at each of you gathered here in the eye, almost like she's sizing you up. You must reach one of 2 shrines, either the one on Kiru Island or between the lakes called the Scars, which sits atop Anquara Plateau. I will not be giving you a map nor directions. You must leave the Pentara Lodge at dawn in the 1 hour. However, at dusk, I shall pursue the contenders with hunting partners of my choice, and I will attempt to slay anyone I encounter outside of a shrine. Travel via flight or magic is not permitted, and the mists will prevent it. She kind of lets out this soft purring noise, which her large panther-like companion echoes back. Now, it's not just me you have to worry about. Along with the threats that lurk in the jungles, you all may kill one another for any reason you see fit, especially to claim a shrine, as only one group at a time may hold each shrine. That being said, this trial will not end for any reason until I've arrived at both shrines and acknowledged the winners there. If you are among the winners, you will be escorted to the village of Shuaran and out of my domain. And many of the other contenders gathered here appear slightly nervous, and you can see some have gone quite pale, while others appear almost enthusiastic about this, and you can see a couple of them sizing people up and smiling. Losers, however, rot where they fall in the jungle, and violations of these rules are punishable by death. She waves her hands, and you can see mists begin to swell and push to the far outskirts of the domain. And those of you know that the Dark Lords of each domain, specifically where you come from mostly, they have the ability to close the borders of their domain at will. And that's what she does. You have an hour before the trial begins. Prepare yourselves. Oh, and if you come across Mother Heartless, it would be best to hide. And she walks out of the lodge. And you can see people already forming teams, leaving just the 5 of you.
Well, we found ourselves in a bit of a pickle. First that dastardly train, and now this. What I wouldn't do for a good glass of wine.
It just slides up closer to Hamunep.
Hamunep is he's not really paying attention to the others. He kind of understands that potentially him and Pitt, Madeliene, are going to be in a group, but he's looking over past this group to the others, trying to size them up as well. He's trying to be the hard ass, I guess you could say.
Speaking of, one by one, if Madeline, Pitt, and Hamunep would describe what the others see. So, Madeline, what do they see when they see you?
So Madeline is an elf, about 5'8". She has dark hair that's pulled back in almost a crown with ribbons tied throughout. She's dressed in a very elegant French coat, tall boots, deep reds mostly, with black gloves that attach to her fingers. She's not carrying any weapons that are visible on her body, but she does have a white masquerade mask that hangs from her belt with gold trim and white feathers. And her eyes sparkle gold as she surveys the room and the two remaining individuals standing in front of our group.
All right, Pitt.
Pitt, from what you can see, they're about 5'5". They are a drow, and you see they have this. It's well worn, but it is well maintained. This like brown, almost like leather cloak, and they have a green long sleeved shirt underneath, with the arms are like quite puffed out, so it's kind of concealing like her more petite frame, and along with her pants are a little more puffed out. Her eyes, if you manage to catch an actual glimpse of her looking at you, you can tell she's very anxious and very nervous about the situation. Her left eye is yellow, and the right one is green, and it's a little strange. You've seen drow with yellow eye, you've heard of that. It's not too strange, but the green one doesn't look quite right. And her hair is it's more or less well kempt, and it's about at her shoulders, and she's just looking at everybody, just looks very vulnerable, basically.
Okay. And that brings us to Hamunep.
Okay. Hamunep is human-esque in appearance, humanoid in appearance from the first glean. He stands about 5'10", leaner but not muscular, not terribly muscular, with an olive complexion, but it seems like there's a undertone of red that seems like tinged, almost like a forever sunburn. His hair on the left side is clean shaven, and like right down the middle, black hair about medium length that goes just underneath the chin. It's deep black hair. But if you look at his eyes, they are bright amber and they have vertical slit pupils, hinting at some potential reptilian-esque. He is wearing a linen skirt, and a top it's fine, and it's a reinforced like a light leather. He's adorned with like very simplistic jewelry, armlets, bracelets, even an anklet, silver, and it seems like they are various kind of bone charms that hang from them. He is carrying a short sword, an interesting short sword. It is a kopesh, which is one of those Egyptian style where it comes up on like that crescent moon shape blade, and he is also at his hip, but is wrapped around his arm, but it also attaches to his hip, is a reliquary, which seems to be made of silver and bone, with the top being the part that you would actually open for incense, and the bottom looking similar to a like 3-tiered cage.
Okay.
That's what he looks like.
And the three of you can see two others.
You see an old man sleeping in a chair. He's got like a nightcap on, slippers, little nightgown. You see a faint light coming from what you assume to be a necklace under the nightgown. And he's got like a goatee, like a beard goatee, like full on beard goatee that's just covers the whole front. And you see it just kind of softly reacting to his snores as his breath passes through it. He doesn't seem to be carrying anything of use. There's a under his seat is like a potted plant that, as you like squint at it, is actually just a finger that's kind of taken root in some dirt.
What the fuck? First off, standing over the old man, poking him to wake him up, and be like, "Wake up, old man, wake up!" You would see a lady standing about 5'5". The most notable thing, there's a lot of most notable things, to be honest. The first noticeable thing would be her long, like mid-back hair split right down the middle, half red, half black, and braided back. And then from there, you would see horns looking like branches, pale white branches, forming a crown around her head. And then as she turns to be like, "Wake up, old man," you would see she's wearing a plague doctor mask, completely covering the face. Then as for clothing, over top of her clothing, she is wearing a little bit of an ill-fitting green coat with blood red frills. It's a little bit ill-fitting. You can tell it's not hers, but she's wearing it anyways. And then under that, you can see very bright, performative clothes. There's like a sleeveless corset underneath it with like leggings and an overskirt that forms a tail in the back. And the leggings end just past her knees, where her legs form into hooves that have been painted bright orange. There's a lot of color, like orange, blue, purple. Just, she said, "What is my color palette?" Yes.
All of it.
And she's like poking this old man, being like, wake up, old man."
Is it time for my dinner?
I hope you're hungry for a fight, because that's what's happening.
Oh, good heavens, no.
Come on,
You can
get up.
you can see the other people that have gathered into teams are slowly starting to get their stuff together and depart the lodge.
Who are you? Are you from the college?
And he looks at the three new people.
Oh shit, there's more people. Hi.
Kid Hamunep and just good to meet you. My name is Madeliene, and who are you?
Oh, I am Professor Milton Bradley. Madeliene. Lovely name.
Tom, I'm sure.
Hamunep is
Ham?
Hamunep, yes.
Ham.
Oh man, be polite. That's not his name.
Yes. Of course.
And this is Pitt.
Hi, yes, I'm Pit. Yes, hello.
Welcome, new people. I am, and with a great flourish, she'll stick her hand up. So, Thalia Grace, pleasure to meet you.
All right.
And
Are you two sticking together?
Hmm?
Are just you two sticking together?
I mean, looking at the size of some of those other teams, I wouldn't mind a couple of people on our team.
speaking of the other teams, if you'd like me to describe them, I can.
certainly.
Yeah.
Okay. One team makes up 2 people. You see a human man in his early 40s who is bald and covered in tattoos of people's names all over his body. He's incredibly muscular and stands about 6'2" and is only wearing a pair of basic black trousers and knee-high black boots with a scimitar and crossbow on his hip. With him is a stout mountain dwarf with a red beard flecked with streaks of white. His left eye is heavily mutilated and seeps with pus. He's wearing a green bandana and a long red leather jacket. He has a wickedly curved scimitar strapped to his side. The other team, you see a forest gnome. Okay, I got distracted. You see a forest gnome clad in a tan-colored tunic and pants with a pith helmet and a monocle over his left eye. He has a bushy red mustache and a compass slung around his neck. Think Nigel Thornberry. With him is a forest gnome with luxurious blonde curls and a blonde goatee. He's wearing a finely embroidered red silk tunic and black pants with red dressing shoes. The initials AW are embroidered into the lapel of his tunic. He has an elegant rapier strapped to his side that looks more like a family heirloom than a viable weapon. Another team, you see a slate gray colored tiefling man with bulging muscles, wearing a cloak made from wolf hide, complete with a hood resembling that of a wolf head. And he has a massive great axe slung across his back. With him is a half-elf standing around 5'5" with copper-colored skin and wearing a cloak of autumn-colored leaves, complete with a vibrant green tunic and brown cotton pants. They have shoulder-length brown hair with strands of moss and small twigs kind of all throughout it, and they're holding a quarterstaff also covered in moss. And rounding out that team, you see a small goblin with a cocky, shit-eating grin. He's wearing a pink cotton tunic with a pink pointed hat that is slightly patchwork in its materials. They're wielding an iron scepter with the head of a goblin sticking its tongue out, made of the same iron at the top, and a crude short bow strung to their back. And they're kind of oddly charming to all of you. Like, you feel yourselves kind of drawn to them for some weird reason. One of the other teams are 2 in this team. A bipedal green toad stands around 5'4" and is wearing a simple brown leather tunic with a hat made from the severed head of an alligator. There's a wooden spear strapped to its back, and they seem to be warming up with throat exercises like someone who sings, like... With that, there is another bipedal green toad with a slightly rotund belly, and is adorned in a series of hide from alligators and other predatory reptiles. They're astride a giant pimpled toad and wielding a large spear, so mounted on a big toad. And finally, it appears like the last team is a lone wolf by themselves. Sat by themselves on a stool in the corner of the room, smoking from a wooden pipe, is a 7-foot-tall black dragonborn, adorned in simple leathers with a hood pulled up. He has no weapons on him that you can see, but his knuckles appear slightly scarred and worn. And those are the other teams.
So, Thalia,
Yes.
what are we doing here?
I don't know, because I was dead and you made the decision. So. I think we're fighting to the death. Who
Aw.
knows?
Huh?
We have a task. Each group of people.
And yeah, it's at this point all the teams finally
Who are you?
depart.
I don't know.
We have all been pulled from our respective homes. So I think we should move and try to complete this task to see what the point of all of this is.
And you can see the sun beginning to rise.
I want to go home.
Well, then follow me. And Hamunep is going to begin moving toward the door.
Okay.
It's just on their arm, just like, don't leave me. Hamunep, please.
They glance at the professor and Thalia. Madeliene will just kind of shake her head again. Does he need assistance out, or can he travel?
Walk on his own pretty fine. Just don't get him talking about like passing grades and like college stuff, because then he just won't shut up and he'll just stay in place.
Did you say assistant? I have need of a teacher's assistant.
You know, we'll find one probably at the shrine. So let's get going, shall we?
Shrine?
This way. I try to usher him out.
Okay. So you get outside of the lodge, and it's just that long, spiraled staircase that kind of wraps around the exterior of the tree you all ascended. There's no railings on it, no safety guardrails. Just a straight descent down into the jungle. And you can see
There's
the
no
other team.
railings. How am I supposed to slide down?
You don't. And you can see the other teams getting to the bottom at this point and kind of already splitting up and going their own separate directions, and then just disappearing into the jungle because it's just extremely dense.
As we're walking down the ramp, I would like to ask Thalia and the professor, so what particular skills do you have? Are you good at magics, fighting?
I am a
What do you
professor
do?
of mechanical engineering
Oh, wonderful.
at Ludendorff College.
Look, listen, I know it's hard to believe, but he can fight, and he can fight well.
I truly hope so for his sake.
Like, we had like a bunch of bush children, and he just like wiped them all out. It was great.
To the other two, do you have... I didn't hear anything about it. We didn't hear where we're going, did we?
We have no sense of direction, it seems, no guidance, so we have to make that ourselves. Lakes. 2 lakes.
I will
There's something.
say the location she mentioned, just to help out. Yeah, there's 2
Well,
shrines.
I wrote them down. I meant we don't know the area.
Correct.
Yeah, like
Yeah, she mentioned. I'll just to reiterate, just so everyone is. Also for the old man, maybe.
No, the old man doesn't know. He will never know.
She mentioned one shrine was on Kiru Island, and then another between the lakes called the Scars, which sits atop a plateau called the Enquara Plateau. But yeah, the canopy is so dense when you get to the top of the tree. Like when you're at the top of the tree, you still can't really see far distances because you're just looking at more canopy.
alright.
Just basically just pick a direction and go. But you do eventually get to the bottom of the tree.
Should I flip a coin or a dagger? Try to pick a direction.
Did we see where the sun came up from?
Where it usually
Or we
comes
just
up
knew?
from.
Okay.
But actually, you wouldn't have seen the sun. You would have just seen the sunlight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I look at the shadows on the trees and such from the angle that the sun is to try to see if I can tell which direction is east? Because like where the sun would come up in the east, the shadow would be
make a survival
pointing.
check.
Okay. Oh, that's not great. That's a 10.
No idea.
I will pull out a coin.
Okay.
Uh,
And also, I'll just reiterate just so everyone's on the same page. The environment is very dense. Like I said, there's no traveled roads, so everything is considered difficult terrain. And travel time is significantly hindered by it. So, just so everybody knows, before we get going, you can travel 12 miles a day instead of the usual, like, 22, I think it is. 24. You can travel 24 miles a day usually. In this terrain, you can travel 12.
All
Did any of the groups that walked into the forest or into the jungle look confident in the direction they were going?
No.
Perhaps we go a direction that no one else went, and then we avoid bumping into anyone and hope for the best. Or at least hope that the games master doesn't pick us off.
Can Hamunep scan the area as she's deciding her way of depicting where we go? Can he try to see if anybody is waiting or lingering?
Perception check.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Really? Oh, that's not bad. 18?
Nope.
Okay. Seems like everybody made a break for whichever direction, so let's move fast so nobody turns tail.
But you can when you all arrived, you remember that the jungle life went silent when you all arrived here initially, and the jungle life has gone back to being very noticeable, like just like the sounds of birds and insects and
Professor Thalia, do you have any thoughts on which way to go before we flip a coin and pick for us?
How about I show you my
Wait.
new invention?
What is your new invention?
It is what I am calling a radar.
Mhm.
And what does
he'll-
it do?
He'll kind of touch his little amulet, and a couple shards of metal will like scales will jut out, and you'll see like a little like radar thing, and it'll make a bing, bing, and he's ritually casting detect magic.
Okay. That takes 10.
Aw.
That takes 10 minutes. What's everybody else doing in those 10 minutes?
Hamunep is going to bless. He is going to man. He's going to try to find some guidance within his deities. So he'll light the incense really quick and he'll begin to speak similar to parcel tongue. It's hisses, low hisses. And he'll undo the cage at the bottom, and the three snakes will unfurl and come out and begin to twist. And they don't ever seem to stop moving on his body. Like he almost constantly shifting underneath the clothes that he's wearing. But yeah, he's not really casting anything. He's trying to just find guidance at the moment. So he's
Okay.
inhaling deep.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything?
Eye out for people coming down the ramp and around us. Because I just want to run in the jungle, but these two are doing something that I'm hoping will help, so let's keep watch.
Okay. Professor Milton Bradley.
Yes.
The only magical pings you get are from Thalia's coat
Ah,
and something on Madeleine's person.
oh my.
Okay, it doesn't register as any type of
Nope.
magic. Okay, cool.
Well, Hamunep.
He'll
Was it
come to.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, are we going? I would like to go home now.
He'll.
You
Usher
said
his-
you were taking me home.
I am. Yes, we are. And he'll usher the three snakes into the reliquary and re-latch it. And he's going to close his eyes for a minute, and he's going to hover his hand across, and he's going to point in a direction that, so if they were coming down, he's going to point to the right, but like,
Okay.
so like northeast
Okay.
visually, like if you're looking at
Yeah.
a compass, he's
Okay.
pointing that way.
That's a good lad.
But he is going to pull out the Kopesh and he's going to unfurl the reliquary and keep the chain tight around his hand as he begins to move and cutting
Okay.
away some of the denser forest as it begins moving.
And since the jungle is so dense, this will be a marching order.
Yes, Hamunep is in the front.
It's behind them.
Professor Bradley is right next to Hamunep.
You'd have to be single file because it's so dense.
I guess right behind him then.
Pit's right behind him.
I would like, if it's all right, I would like to be behind him. Does that? I mean,
It seems like Pit's behind
he,
him for a
he
reason.
He offered to guide me.
Pit's like kind of like clinging onto his arm
Okay.
or clinging onto him. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I mean, it could be Hamunep, Pit, and Professor.
All right, cool. I guess I'm not okay.
Bring up
Not
the
aware
rear.
of the dynamics that happened in the session 0.
Correct.
so
And who's behind Professor?
Oh, a gesture for Madeliene. To go.
If you like, I'm happy to take up the rear if you would prefer to stay with your compatriot.
That is a big word that I don't know what it means.
I will reach to my hip and seemingly out of thin air pull out a rapier. It's fine. And I'll follow behind the professor.
Okay. And that'll leave Thalia in the back.
Yeah.
Okay. And you pointed, if I was looking at a map, you're pointing kind of northeast, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, you start hacking through this jungle, and you can see like big insects kind of scurrying across the trees, like big beetles, like big like jungle beetles. You can see big mosquitoes kind of flying around in the distance, and it's just overwhelming. The sounds of the jungle, birds, insects, the sound of you just whoosh, whoosh. All right. Cool. And like I said, it's all difficult terrain.
in the silence, the radar, the little detect magic radar is going ping, ping.
Noted.
Hamunep is going to kind of turn his head and speak to Pit. Keep your eyes out for any snakes, serpents.
I can do that. I'm gonna. How big?
Any size.
I can do that.
What pace are you traveling at, Hamunep? Would you say you're trying to go a fast pace or a slow pace?
A regular pace? Not really. Not necessarily trying to like run through.
Okay.
You know, it's a. We don't know where we're going. Yeah, moving through fast seems stupid.
Okay, so based on the difficult terrain, you're going at a slow pace then, not a normal pace.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
After about an hour of just hacking through these bushes,
Oh, tech magic fades.
yep, you get to what seems like a very narrow river, like a stream actually, kind of in the jungle. I would like one of you, doesn't matter whoever wants to do it, just say me. Actually, two people do this. I need two people to roll a d20 each. Just a flat d20.
Do it.
New person.
Oh, new person too. Yeah, new person. Oh, yeah, you go.
So two of you roll a d20.
It's a blank d20. Okay.
Yeah.
I just rolled a medicine check, which is a d20.
Okay.
Which is
So-
a 6.
Okay.
12.
And as you get to this stream, you can hear like the running water of the stream. You're like, oh, water, excellent. And when you get close, it's actually a ravine, miles wide. The only thing that you can use to cross the ravine is a rope bridge made entirely of rope. No wooden planks, just rope handholds and a single rope at the base. And it's a 60-foot drop from the rope bridge to the river below.
Delightful.
Okay. He's going to release his 3 children, essentially his 3 snakes, and he's going to place them on the rope so that they begin to move and coil and make their way.
Okay.
And he's going to,
Okay.
yeah. So he's going to tell them to wait at the other side for him.
Sure.
But this is I don't want my pets killed.
Yeah.
I know how that can go. So he's
They
gonna
usually just like,
let
yeah, they're
yeah.
snakes. They can. They get across.
All right. Maybe we should move in small groups. Yes.
Yes. I'll disappear my rapier and pull out instead a bow and arrow, or a bow.
Mm-hmm.
And is there space for us to maneuver like around each other?
No, they have to be single file across the rope bridge.
No, but I mean like change.
Can
the
we change
order,
our
like,
Oh,
spots?
yeah. You're at the edge of a ravine. You can easily just kind of like position yourselves again.
Madeliene Pitt, you go first, and I'll be in the middle in case anything
that can be
ominous
on the other
happens.
side.
So who's...
yeah.
All right. So both
Like
of your...
Pidge just like looking at you like wide-eyed, like, okay, safety man.
So both
You
of
are her emotional support person.
So Madeliene and Pitt are crossing first.
I hold up because my coat has like tails like a tux,
Yeah.
and I hold up the tails to Pit if it would make you feel better.
Thank you. And Pit like graciously like holds on to them.
Okay. Who's crossing first? Like, who's going to be leading this cross across the rope bridge?
I will do that.
That makes sense because, yeah. All right. Acrobatics check as you cross the bridge.
Oh, this would be great. This would be super great, guys. That's a 10.
You stumble a bit, and you just succeed. Pitt. Acrobatics check.
Ooh, 7.
Pitt. You slip and fall.
Oh, can I grab the
I grab
railings?
them.
Madeliene can make another. You can do either strength or dex to try to grab onto Pitt.
Yeah, definitely not strength.
Okay.
We'll go for dex. That's a 15.
You catch Pitt, and you can pull Pitt up, and you both can cross the bridge.
Good.
Pitch just like sitting on is it like grassy on their side or rocky first?
It's grass.
They're just like in the grass.
Like waist high. It's like the grass is like 3 feet tall.
They just like sit down and they're just like, that's fine. And if they see one of Hamunep's snakes, they just kind of start trying to pet one.
Okay.
I will
They're
keep
docile.
an eye out both on our side and the other side.
Sure.
With a arrow knocked.
Okay.
He's gonna turn and look at the other two. All right. Do you have rope? Do either of you have rope?
He just holds out his arms. Like,
Right. Okay.
No.
All right. He is going to reach into his backpack, and he's going to pull out a. It's a blanket, but it's made out of like, it's coarse. It's really coarse. It seems like it's not made out of like, it's made out of some kind of a different type of fur, or varieties of fur, and he is going to stab into it, and he's going to cut strands of it, and he's going to begin to tie pieces together, and he's going to walk over to Professor Milton Bradley,
What are you doing?
arms up.
What are you doing?
I'm making sure you don't fall, and he'll go around the waist and tie like a security like belt.
I see this type of danger every night when I wake up to take a piss.
You walk across a rope bridge to pee?
Stairs are like rope bridges for people my age.
Do you want help?
Maybe.
Right. He's going to essentially like an old man leash. He's gonna let you go first.
Okay.
But it'll be you first, and then
Okay.
Hamunep. Oh, you keep pace.
Oh, don't worry about it. I got this.
Okay.
All right, Milton Bradley. Because you have this leash around you, I'll say you can roll your acrobatics check with advantage. Because
Are you sure?
Hamunep's technically giving you the help action,
Oh, okay.
and then Hamunep roll one straight roll for you.
Okay.
Acrobatics.
10 is what you need. So you slip.
15.
You slip a little too, Professor, but you get across, and so does Hamunep. Hamunep does it the best out of the group so far. Just, yeah.
Lithe. He yanks up Professor whenever he tries to fall, and he's like, no.
Oh,
And that leaves Thalia.
Oh yeah. Now, given Thalia's background and what she does for a living, could a case be persuaded for advantage?
Sure.
Sick. Love
Yeah,
you
for
so
sure.
much.
Yeah, for sure. It's a little narrower than what you're used to.
I can make it work.
Yeah, that's you say that now. But yeah, go for it.
You see Talia on the other end, like warming herself up, doing like some stretches while Hamunep and the professor are crossing.
Oh no, the
And
rope
then-
bridge falls.
Oh no,
No,
the rope
my
bridge.
rope bridge.
It's
broken.
All right, let's see.
Yep. So advantage acrobatics check.
11.
11 succeeds.
God bless that advantage.
You all get to the other side.
Hamunep takes the Kopesh and he cuts the rope bridge down.
Make an attack roll. Because it's got hit points and AC.
He 100% is going to do this.
And
if
also,
anything is following us.
It is I should specify, it is like a 60-foot gap.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. It's a natural 19, so 24 to hit.
Oh, that hits for sure.
Okay. For 7 slashing damage.
All right, it's still intact.
Well, I'm sorry, that's piercing because it is technically
Yeah,
it
still
should
intact.
be slashing.
Still
though.
intact.
The professor lets out like a sounds really gross. He's gonna do poison spray on the rope.
It appears immune to poison.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
Does he like sneeze a spray of poison essentially, or cough up a spray of poison?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a
Box a loogie of
Yeah.
poison.
it's a
Gross.
rancid looking bogey.
Just dripping. It's like dripping off the rope.
Hamunep looks at the others. We need to cut this down if anybody follows, and he's gonna go for another strike.
Okay, go for it.
Oh fuck. 13.
That hits.
Okay. That's 8 piercing damage.
It's barely intact. It's like hanging on by like one little strand. It's kind of just like. It's
like to try
definitely-
and cut it.
It's definitely not crossable in this state. It's holding on by like one piece.
Oh, then he won't let him do it. Whoever tries to move up, he's gonna stop them if it looks like it's about to fray, like it's barely
It
hanging
looks like
on.
if any weight goes onto it, it's just gonna collapse.
Perfect. Okay, he'll pull up anybody who moves. Will-
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna put that in my
Awesome.
notes.
That's awesome.
Let's hope we don't have to cross that bridge again.
Find another way.
Yeah, wouldn't that suck?
Yeah, right.
It's like if we were the ones that got fucked over by our actions.
Literally.
mean,
Hamunep
Oh,
will.
no.
par for the course for D&D.
Consequences of
literally.
our actions.
Yeah,
They're
you
returning.
you successfully cross the bridge. Are any of you proficient in survival?
I
I'm
am
actually.
half proficient.
Okay.
I mean, you wouldn't guess it, but the professor is.
All right. Anyone who's proficient in survival, you traveled about 2 miles in an hour. That's a long time for 2 miles.
Why aren't we home yet?
We have strides to make before we get home.
None of this looks familiar.
Well, you're not at your original home, I would guess.
No.
I don't think any of us are. I assume. Kind of gives everybody a look.
Certainly not.
We have goals to meet before we can all return home.
I just saw the GIF in the group chat. Continuing in the same direction.
Sorry. Yeah, we
Okay.
he's gonna gather up his kids, his snakes,
Yeah.
and he's going to,
And your fourth kid now.
literally, yeah, he'll helm the lead. But if anybody wants to step up, if he doesn't feel like Hamunep's doing a good enough job, you're more than welcome to. But he's gonna start moving.
Pit's going with them.
I will say this, just so you know. Based on how this is, Hamunep has the highest passive perception. So
Hardy. I'm not even.
yeah.
Oops, all bimbos.
we
At least we're good looking.
Well, there's an old man. All right.
Old man
Like a
can be
fine
good
wine,
looking.
better with time.
That's true.
I don't know. He just hocked up a loogie,
Yeah,
so he lost a
exactly.
lot of credit.
All right.
Everyone has their
A
quirks,
poison
you
leak.
know.
I
So you
guess.
cross the ravine and you start pushing back into the jungle. Yeah, and the river kind of there's like a waterfall on the other side, kind of, and there's a river that you can follow if you choose to follow the river.
Lakes lead to could feed out of rivers. Might as well go.
The river kind
North?
of goes, yeah, it kind of goes like this, and then it looks like it would go to the right. It goes ahead a bit, and then it turns to the right. Yeah,
Can we see where it's flowing from?
it's flowing, coming towards you.
Hamunep is. Let's follow.
Because
Let's try to find the source. Oh, it's a waterfall.
Yeah, there's a waterfall that was kind of
Oh,
on the
I'm
other side of
sorry.
the ravine. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I
Now,
don't want to try to climb.
I've only ever heard or seen of a waterfall in stories, but typically there's stuff behind it.
The waterfall, you'd have to leap off the ravine to get to the.
I'm
You
just
could-
saying, for future reference, there could be something behind that waterfall if we find ourselves down there.
I don't see any barrels, and I've heard that you go over waterfalls and barrels. So for now, let's stick on this side of it.
We go over waterfalls
I-
in what? Barrens?
Barrels, like what you hold wine in casks.
Barrels.
Barrel.
Oh, yes.
Like a container.
Yeah.
Yes.
There have been many studies that I have read, taking into account the frequency with which there are things within barrels and behind waterfalls.
Right. Hamunep's gonna start moving
So just-
Pit's following.
Okay.
as Professor
I
begins to go on a tangent about barrels.
Okay.
Hamunep is 100% gonna start moving.
All right. As
We're
you're
at the top of the waterfall,
yeah,
and we're now traveling in the
along
opposite
along the
direction.
river. Yeah, you're following like yeah. All right. As you walk another 2 miles, which is again takes another hour. And
Hamunep is actively keeping. I hope Pip is too, but Hamunep is actively keeping an eye out for any serpents.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pit's looking for
snakes.
snakes.
okay.
Yeah.
So in the distance, about maybe it looks like it might be another half-hour walk to get to. You can see a village. You can see people milling about in the village. But again, it's about a half-hour walk away. Actually, you wouldn't see it. You can kind of hear the sounds of like people milling about in the village because again, it's dense jungle. I need 2 people to roll 2d20s again.
Fuck it, I'll do it.
I'll do
Rose,
it.
I'll join you.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
How does a 12 sound?
Okay.
How does a 10 sound?
Are you going the same pace or a little quicker?
Same pace.
Okay. So you follow this river.
Well, is it as dense by the riverside?
it's
like,
still
is there-
dense,
Okay. Okay. I was gonna say if it seems like it's a little clear around the river's edge, move faster. But if not, then yeah, same pace.
Okay. You come to another ravine with a rope bridge again. This one, you can cross the ravine or you can keep following the river. Your choice.
Does it look like it goes back the way that we came?
No.
So the rope bridge goes to another area.
Yeah. In the direction of where you're going to hear the sounds of people. Well, you wouldn't even hear the sounds of people because it's half an hour. You can still smoke.
Okay.
That's the direction the rope bridge leads, or you can keep following the river. And you look down, and there's a kind of there's a ravine, but it doesn't drop into any water. It's another 60-foot drop that just falls into like craggy, rocky ravine, and the river kind
You're
of
gonna
runs alongside of it.
Okay. He's gonna check the end of the rope because of what he just did to make sure there's no fraying.
Okay, it's unharmed in any way.
Do we want to try to speak with the locals? Maybe we can.
Considering it's the Dreadlord that brought us here, it seems like a risk.
Risk and reward. Risk and reward.
Oh, what could they give to us? Food,
Clues.
rations, perhaps. A
Ways
map.
to go.
Yes.
A sense of direction.
Any of us particularly good at being sneaky? Other than me.
I mean, I can move quietly if need be.
I'm okay at being sneaky.
Might be of interest to take a look, just in case one of the other groups has come through this way already. Make sure that they won't ambush us or something if we arrive.
I think we should just move then. I don't think we need to risk it. Because one person going across will be on one side, the others will be.
What do you mean ambush?
There's a competition.
Infantry. Is
What?
is the village like visible? It's not visible
It's
from
not
the side, so
visible.
we'd still all have to cross the bridge,
Yeah.
right?
And
He's going to turn to the professor and kind of look him in the eyes. We are fighting for our lives right now. Understand?
You see the cloudiness kind of sort of like fade from his eyes, and he focuses on you, and it makes you think he knows a little bit more than what he's letting on. And then you see the veil kind of go back over him.
Samantha, do you think we should move? Pit? Thalia, what do you think? Cross the bridge or continue up the river?
Both options are great. Neither one is certain to get us to where we're going, so we won't absolutely fucking die, which don't recommend doing. Not a great time. Do not like being dead. Makes for a great story though. I fully plan to milk it when I get back home. I think we should flip a coin.
Pit,
Yes, well,
you can voice your opinion.
I think we should go by the river.
Okay. One by the river, one through the village. One flip a coin.
I think it makes sense that if we're looking for a pair of lakes or an island, that we follow the water.
Okay. Simple for me. He's gonna look at the bridge for a second.
Okay.
Consider a repeat.
Okay.
But these people probably use it, so he's not gonna do it.
Okay.
He wants to, but he's not going to.
Okay. So you choose to follow the river then?
I think so.
Okay. Cool. You start walking. And then the river slowly begins to turn and go to the right.
Hit's still looking for serpents in the grass for a Hamunep.
I know.
Do we see any signs of any of the other teams? Any movement in the jungle?
Yeah. Survival checks. Whoever wants to take a peek and do a survival check.
That's a 17.
17 as well.
A natural 20.
Okay.
18.
Okay. You all
13.
you all do see movement in like the foliage, but it doesn't sound like big things moving around like humanoids and that. It sounds like monkeys and you're like, wah, 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 wah. And then yeah. Birds. Nothing big though.
Would there be anything that I could do to disguise the fact that we are traveling through the jungle
Do you have
based on how
any
dense it is?
well, it depends what you're trying to do.
Basically, I want to make us harder to follow. So whether that means like occasionally I will ask the group to pause to go off to the side and come back and like just make it confusing so that if someone does end up tracking us, because they will inevitably, it makes them take a little longer.
Okay.
Like the end of The Shining.
So you don't see any footprints. There's no like soft terrain or mud. You're not leaving footprints. And when you do bend like a blade of grass or something, it kind of almost goes back to how it was before.
Does cutting it do anything crazy, or is it just
Cutting it seems fine.
okay?
So you are leaving a trail kind of where you're cutting the foliage. You can't really fix that.
And I'll say, yeah, it's. I mean, natural underbrush, but it's. I would say like this very dense stuff. That's probably what he's going to be cleaving through,
Okay.
not just like every step he's like hacking like a lawnmower. He's going to be like big things that will make it obstructing them, or if there's no way to really go around properly, he will
Okay.
go through that way.
It does seem like though if you were on a game trail, you would probably would be able to hide your like footprints and everything else, but yeah, in the current dense like jungle, there really isn't anything to conceal. You're already very well concealed. Basically, stealth checks are with advantage while you're in the dense jungle.
Okay.
That goes for everything. Okay. Okay. Been traveling for about 4 hours. So. You get to kind of this fork in the river. It kind of goes to the left, and it kind of one that kind of bit kind of goes straight, and then the other fork of the river goes to the right. And as you get to this fork, I need 2 people to roll d20s again.
Come on, Grandpa.
All right, here we go.
And somebody else roll 1.
6.
6.
This is where I use my 1 natural 20 for the day.
Oh no.
All right, you come to a fork in the river.
Okay.
Yeah, you come to a fork in the river.
I guess it's hard to see if the land in any direction goes up or down.
It doesn't
It's
appear
just
like it, yeah.
too dense. Yeah.
It's all relatively been the same kind of elevation. There hasn't been any like inclines or declines. It's all been relatively just flat.
I feel like this is the third time we've gone right. I feel like we're going in a circle. So what if we go the other way? I don't want us to double back and bump back into the hunting party.
So we go left.
Was one straight and one was right, or one was
straight, one was right, yeah.
straight? It is.
Straight it is. He'll give the others a look over before speaking, but yeah, he'll move.
Okay, and you keep.
Do we have access to the water?
Yeah.
Professor Bradley's gonna go down there.
It's a little
take out
murky,
his-
but
take out his plant, and give it a little watering.
okay. So
And then-
how are you like putting it in the water? Or?
He's just dipping it in there for a
Cool.
little bit, just so that it gets a.
Does a 21 hit?
Yeah.
Okay, something bites onto your hand,
Ow.
and you pull your hand up. I imagine it's extinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. You take 1 piercing damage,
Ow.
and there's a little carnivorous fish with sharp teeth, kind of looking like a piranha, attached to your hand, just like.
Ah. Kind of flick it off.
Okay. It goes back into the water.
Is
And you
it
kinda-
almost dead?
You get a closer look, and you can see this river is teeming with these things.
Wait, so what side of the river were we on? Do we have to cross the river in order to keep going straight?
It's like a 5-foot wide river. No, you can still keep following it.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait,
So we were
no,
on-
yeah,
we
you
were
would
on
have
the
you
left
would-
side of the
you
river.
would- you're on the right side. You would have to cross the river to go straight ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 5 feet wide.
Oh. Run and jump.
Yeah, you could do that. What's your strength score?
9.
You can jump as many feet as your strength score with a running jump. So
Yeah,
actually, you know what? Because yours is a 9, because this is dense jungle, you can't really get a good running start. Athletics check to jump across the river.
Wish me luck. Nope.
This is
That's a
fine.
3.
A 3.
Oh no.
You slip on like the muddy shore and you just kabloosh into the river.
Fuck.
It goes to try and just like yank him out.
Okay, 1 second.
Thalia will also help.
1 second. He was only subjected to. So, Hamunep, as you fall into the river, you open your eyes, and you can see a swarm of these things coming at you. Does a 10 hit?
No.
Okay, you run. Pitt and Thalia, you're both reaching in to pull them out. Okay, they'll also, more of these swarms will try to bite each of you. Pitt, they 6 or a 7 doesn't hit Pitt, I imagine.
Nope.
And Thalia, does a 19 hit you?
Yes.
Okay, and because this is a swarm, they do deal a little bit more. You take 18 piercing damage. And you pull Hamunep out, and Thalia, your arms are just covered in these things, just latched on into your flesh.
That's what I get for trying to be a good person. I'm almost dead.
Hamunep is going to, as he comes up, he wipes the water, but he's going to grab, one of the fish from Talia's arm, and he's going to just take the head and he's going to pull it, releasing some of the blood and the viscous.
Make an unarmed strike.
Okay. Wait, no, that's not smart. That's not good. I do 0 damage.
Well, you do a minimum of 1.
Okay. So I do 1 damage.
It has 1 hit point. It has 1 hit point.
Okay.
So you just rip its head off and then.
And he is going to take some of the blood and he's going to coat his hand and he's going to wipe it across Talia's face. And he's going to do a 2nd level cure wounds.
The other fish kind of like suffocate because they're out of water. They kind of just. So like the other like 6 of
great.
this, the other 6
You heal
of these.
12.
Cool. The other 6 of these little piranha-like things just all kind of like die, still latched onto Thalia, because they can breathe. They can be out of water for less than a minute, so they're just like. So 6 of these dead piranhas just latched onto Thalia.
You heal 12, Talia.
That's okay.
But you do have fish blood and guts across your face.
On the mask.
Oh yeah, on the mask. That's right. Yeah.
I'll be over top of the gobble area.
Yeah.
And you also have a food source now too.
Can he pluck? He's going to take another. Well, actually, he's going to take the one that he has, and he's going to begin to cut into pieces, and he's going to slip it into a piece each into the reliquary.
Yeah. What about the 6 that are still attached to Thalia that are dead?
I'd like to peel them off.
Yeah.
As you do that, I will summon, instead of my rapier, a dagger.
Okay.
And attempt to cut them.
Yeah, you can easily do that.
Okay. And I'll, I guess, tie them on my belt at the other side of the mask.
Okay.
That's Bradley. He's just gonna grab one of them raw and just go.
Hamunep is eating the extra bits as well.
You see,
Thalia doesn't know what a fish is, so she's having an experience right now.
Yeah, actually.
It is trying to not throw up.
Yeah, you'd be the only one who doesn't know what a fish is. Actually, let me double check.
The fish head.
Professor definitely knows what a fish is.
Yeah, Hamunep does too.
For sure does. Yep. Basically, just as your domain has a water source, is how we're going to figure it out. Yeah. Okay. Everybody but Thalia knows what a fish is. That's fun.
That's all of the unknown bitey things are off of Thalia.
Yeah.
She'll just like swipe her hand across the mask and press to digitate the blood off.
Okay.
Like, while it's a great look, it's just not my look.
Hamunep is going to fish out the two. LOL. He's going to fish out the two eyeballs, and he's going to give one to Pitt, and he's going to toss it back, and just eat.
Okay.
You see Pitt trying to not throw up in their mouth. It's just like I don't eat meat, Hamunep.
He kind of.
And then you just see Pitt just kind of throw up in the river.
The fish all swarm.
Stream.
The fish all swarm towards it. Just. 'Cause that's what fish. That's what fish do.
What are these things?
They were similar to like our world piranhas. Are they even more messed up looking?
They look like piranhas, yeah.
Okay.
But anyone who wants to like actually know what they are can give me. Anyone who Professor can't because they're not from that. They're not. They don't do well in the cold. Neither can Pitt. The only one who could really do this check is Hamunep.
What, a nature check?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a bug in my room. I caught it and killed it. All right. 15.
They're called quippers. Oh wait. They can come from cold places. So yeah, Professor Milton Bradley also knows what these are. And so would Pitt. And so would Madeliene. I thought they were just tropical, but they're not. So everybody knows these are called quippers. They look. I posted a picture of it. They look like piranhas.
He's gonna give Pitt a look, but he's not gonna say anything. Doesn't quite understand the notion of not eating meat, but
Okay.
isn't gonna say anything against it.
They're just like wiping the corners of their mouth, trying to make sure it's all gone.
So, yeah,
So, if we want to keep going straight, I have a means to get safely across, but it seems that it might be a challenge for some of us. So, if we want to keep going right and hope that we find a bridge, we can always turn around and keep going, or would you like to try again? Incidentally, if I went across, perhaps I could tie a rope to a tree or something that would help pull you out, at least, if you do fall in again.
I think Hamunep's the only one that needs to make an athletics check to jump across.
I also have
Okay,
the same
cool.
strength check.
You guys just see Professor Bradley like lift up his nightgown and just kind of
You left. You left across.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
The old man just whoop.
God, that old
Yeah.
man can't be left alone. Only is going
I'm,
on.
All right, Thalia. Athletics check. Actually, you know what? For you, I will allow acrobatics because of where you're from.
Awesome! Love it.
Oh no.
Do you love it?
Nat 1.
Nat one.
That one.
How
for
do you
an 8.
how do you fail this nat one? How do you fall into the river?
How do you eat shit?
Thalia, bless her heart. Bless her heart. She's a performer at heart. So she tries to add a little bit of pizzazz to it, maybe try a cartwheel. But as we found out last session, the longsword is quite a disadvantage for her. And it gets caught on a rock. And
Okay.
as such, she just
Back
shit
into the
slides.
water. All right.
On seeing that, you guys see like an aura from the professor's amulet, and you guys might not know what happens, but for the sake of mechanics, it casts Sanctuary on Thalia.
Okay. Talia, do you have all of your hit points?
No.
Okay. So it has to make a wisdom save as the swarm comes at you because of Sanctuary. That definitely doesn't succeed on your DC unless your DC is a 6.
It is not a 6.
So it doesn't get through the barrier, so it attacks one of the other fish.
Feeding frenzy.
So
What
Talia,
have we done?
so Talia, you're covered in this, basically like this bubble of like protection.
I would like to bonus action to the other side of the river and yank her out.
Bonus action to do what?
Misty Step.
Okay, yeah. And you guys can pull Talia out because you're putting your arm in the water. One of the little ones is going to go for a bite on you.
Yeah.
I could have gotten out on my own.
11 to hit.
14.
All right, you can easily pull Talia out of the water, leaving Hamunep and Pit on the other side.
I'm gonna. You go first.
Okay.
And Pit just gives you like a reassuring smile, like it's gonna be okay.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't
Are you
have-
giving him the help action with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I would also like from the other side of the river, just like, you got this. You can't
There
feel
we
worse
go.
than I did. You got this.
Okay.
And you now have a bardic inspiration,
Oh,
buddy.
bless you. Okay,
D-
so
D6.
I roll my athletics with advantage because of the help.
Yep, and then add a d6 to it
Okay.
if you want to.
No, I think I'm okay with 13.
Okay, you leap across. Oh, a little river. That's so funny.
Yeah, he's gonna turn heel and take a couple steps back to give Pit room to jump.
And then once Pit sees that Hamunep is all good and the snakes are okay,
What's your
They're
strength?
just
What's your,
gonna-
what's your strength score, Pit?
11.
Yeah, you can do it. You can just do it.
They just kind of like, you see them kind of shake their right leg, and then they do like a little hop, and then they're over.
Okay.
Oh,
Roll.
yeah, it shakes like a dog and prestidigitates the water away.
Okay. You've all made it to the other side.
Most stressful tiny river. Off we go then.
Hamunep, make a perception check on the other side of the river.
Nope, that's a 6.
Okay, I'll let everybody else do one too.
You can add bardic inspiration.
It wouldn't help.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it at this point.
But yeah, everybody else can make one too if they want.
Perception.
Yep.
That's a 6.
Okay.
16 for the professor.
Okay.
A 15 for Thalia.
Okay. Did Madeliene roll one?
Yeah, 12.
Okay. So Professor and Thalia. What Pit get? I can't remember.
6.
Okay, yeah. Professor and Thalia. Floating about 30 feet down the river, kind of on the bank, no longer in the river, you can see one of the contestants. The individual in the pith helmet.
Did he have a scimitar?
He had... Nope.
What did he have?
He had a pith helmet, a monocle, a bushy red mustache, and a compass slung around his neck.
Oh, it's Knight and Thornberry. Got it. Nigel
Thornberry.
Bone.
But yeah, he's laying face down. You can see he's covered in like bite wounds, and most of his flesh has been picked clean. You can imagine it's probably from those fish in the river. You do not
Oh,
see
he's dead.
Yeah, you do not see the person. You don't see the person he was with. Yeah, he's lying face down, all chewed up on the side of the river, about 30 feet away. Like most
I'd like
of
to
the
steal his compass.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
there.
yeah, it's around his neck still.
Great.
Oh, Hamunep is gonna look a little confused, and he's gonna walk over and he's gonna boot the body over to flip it on its back.
Yeah, the face has been picked clean. So it's just skull. Like the face has been picked clean. The flesh is still like around the ears and stuff, but everything on the face has been picked clean with little fish teeth. The monocle is still there. And so is the pith helmet. He's still got the pith helmet on.
He'll take the monocle.
Okay.
Could you explain what a pith helmet is?
Yeah,
It's like those helmets that they wore in like the 1900s, early 1900s, late 1800s when they went on safari, like the safari helmet.
Oh.
I'll post a picture of
Google.
I'll post a picture of a pith
Yeah. Oh, those are fun.
Is the compass functioning properly?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Does he have any
No,
other items
we
on
know
him?
what
Nope.
direction.
Like bags or
He has an embroidered.
Pouches.
He has an embroidered like a handkerchief with his name on it.
Can
Eh.
we discern how this person died?
Yeah, the fish in the river.
Fish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's
okay.
picked clean. I said he was.
There's
picked
nothing.
picked clean and stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I know that
That
further down,
that looks
there
how-
was a,
yeah.
there was a bridge that we had sabotaged, so I wanted to make sure that
what?
it wasn't like
We
he
didn't do
didn't like
that.
crack his
Fall.
head and then.
Yeah.
No, it looks like he tried going through the river and they just chewed him up. And whoever he was with is not with him. But yeah, there's a compass, the monocle, the pith helmet, which doesn't offer any AC, and then his monogrammed handkerchief.
I would like the
Hamunep
pith helmet.
Okay, you take his helmet.
Hamunep is going to take his sword and he is going to cut the clothes off, like the shirt
Yeah.
and such. And he is going to look at the others. Circle of life, and he's going to push the body back into the water.
All right, and it's just the feeding frenzy resumes.
What are these little things? They're fucking vicious.
Oh,
They're not pleasant.
a type of fish. Carnivorous.
What's a fish?
What those things are.
Water-based reptile.
Well,
Dreadful. Dreadful things.
Reptiles?
It's fine.
uh,
I am so confused. This world is so wild, guys. I don't even know what's going on.
Professor of Mechanical Engineering.
right.
Folks.
oh,
He's
and
gonna-
the compass, if you're looking at the compass, because it does work. North is the direction you're going.
Well, we're heading due north if we follow the river, so that seems right. Right?
So,
All right.
The feeding
Continue
frenzy
moving.
Let's keep moving.
just it continues and continues. You can see them like the water is kind of like where the body is. It's like making like a foam because there's just so much like activity and writhing in the water, and there's blood just like spreading out. Poor little gnome. Did anybody like read his handkerchief to see what his name was, or nah? Cool.
Hamunep
Yeah.
picked it up and tossed it. So,
I'll
Okay.
catch it. And
Okay.
I want to see. What's his
Cheers
name?
to you, little dude.
Oscar Iron Gout.
yeah, poor thing.
Iron Gout.
Yeah, and he's dead.
Yep.
I'll pour one out
We'll
for
tuck
you,
it in
little
my-
man.
But yeah, the other gnome he was with, the one that looked like they were just in noble clothes, they're not here.
And there's no way, from what you told us earlier, there's no way to discern where they could have gone. Are there any wet marks or anything like that from someone who trudged through the water, or
You think there would be, but there isn't.
there isn't?
And you're not. And when you guys like leave a muddy footprint and you lift your foot up, the mud kind of like resets.
Oh, it like dries down and like
Yeah.
Okay.
You get a sense. Nothing leaves tracks here.
Gosh. Move forward. Proceed. Professor, are you all right?
Why wouldn't I be?
Just checking in.
I'm thirsty.
He'll grab his water skin and hand it over.
Oh, you're a good lad.
I'll hand it back.
Okay.
Yep. Then begin to move again.
All right. Due north. At another 2 hours, basically. So you're traveling at. You can travel. What did I say? 11 miles a day. Is that what I said?
12.
12.
Yep, that's right.
I think 24 is a day of travel. Regular pace.
Yeah, 12 miles a day. Okay.
Keeping a firm eye out for a lone, noble, clothed gnome.
Okay.
Or the sounds of like maybe a creature rendering into flesh, or like
Okay.
attacking something, or like yells of
Okay.
fright or fear, so those type of things.
Okay. Sounds good. You can still travel 8 hours a day, but you just don't go as far.
Right. Makes sense.
But you're at hour 6 of travel. I need 2 d20 rolls again.
I'll go ahead and roll it.
Okay.
Pit'll join you.
So it's a 12 for me.
12.
M.
10. Roll again, both of you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm tired
Pretty
of
sure that
rope.
was the same combo of the.
I'm tired of
lead.
I'm tired of rope bridges.
How about
15.
an 11?
Okay.
15 and 11.
15. Cool. You're following the river. And you can hear something moving through the foliage and coming in your direction and getting closer. It doesn't sound like people because you don't hear any talking, but there is something getting close, and it sounds like numerous somethings.
What is that?
Prepare yourselves.
How many feet away?
You can't tell. Can't see it.
Did
Hit.
Hamunep say prepare yourselves?
Yeah.
You just Pit's looking in that direction, and they kind of rub their eyes, and on their green eyes, they're rubbing it. You kind of see, it looks like there's like an aura coming out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and Pit's looking in that direction,
Mm-hmm.
and they are they're casting fairy fire in that direction, and like probably about, if it sounds like it's near-ish, probably about, the range is 60 feet, 20-foot cube.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like 40 feet away, 20-foot cube.
Okay. It illuminates that area of the jungle because the trees and everything. The objects get outlined in the light too.
Is there any creatures?
What's your spell DC?
13. It's a dex save.
I know. There are 4. Like I said, the jungle's dense. If it did light up creatures, you still can't see them. Because it doesn't like just make them visible through terrain. It's kind of more like...
But we know where to look.
Yeah, but it kind of, if it's used on like an invisible enemies, it'll show where an invisible enemy is, but if it's a creature that's hidden by terrain. It's not going to reveal. Kind of. Yeah.
And everything is outlined in like a greenish hue.
Cool. When Hamunep says, "Get ready or prepare
For
yourselves,"
yourselves, yeah.
The professor like touches his amulet, like the big jeweled part of it, and like shards of metal just start to go like little scales layered out, and it builds this scaled metal armor that just goes all the way around him.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Oh shit, mage armor on myself.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Okay. "50 feet away, you can hear snarling. And things getting close. And then you hear footfalls as things come racing towards the tree line where you are, and you can see 4 panthers. Jet black. Everybody roll initiative.
Do they have tentacles?
No.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. How long does an inspiration last? 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Okay.
So
That's
you
cool.
wouldn't have inspiration
Yeah.
anymore. Alright. Hamunep, what'd you get for initiative?
19.
Professor Milton Bradley.
4.
I have everybody else. Madeliene.
21.
Alright. One of the panthers is first. And it's outlined in green light.
Ooh.
And it just comes racing 50 feet from the jungle, leaps through the air. And who's it gonna pounce? Who's it gonna pounce? Professor Milton Bradley's in his like thing now.
Metal, yeah.
Okay, definitely not gonna go
His
towards
armor.
that.
Yeah.
It can smell blood. It's gonna leap for the person who had been bleeding today, badly. It's gonna pounce towards Thalia. The claw attack, 16 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. So this big kitty hits you for 6 slashing damage. And as it pounces into you, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Okay, that's an 11.
It knocks you prone. And as a bonus action, because it knocked you prone, it's going to bite down on your throat.
Sick.
For a 7 to hit.
That does not hit.
Madeliene.
Okay. I don't like that, and I think she's right behind me. So I'm going to stab it with my rapier. That is... Oh, God. It's a natural one.
Did you roll with advantage?
Oh, I didn't. So that's a 9.
Okay, as you swing at this panther, that's where we're going to end the session for the week.
Oh, okay.
Goodbye, everybody.